alkaloids. The next drug we are going to study is opium. Opium is basically a alkaloidal drug which is containing the isoquinoline ring in the structure. So it belongs to the category of isoquinoline alkaloids, sometimes also considered to be a part of phenanthrene type of alkaloids, but it is basically a combination of phenanthrene nucleus along with the isoquinoline nucleus forming the opium alkaloids. So it is a compact mixture of different types of alkaloids coming together forming a drug. So basically opium, it is also known as the raw opium as well as post or a afim. Now this post and afim are the normal language which are used in the narcotic areas. It is a narcotic drug, it is a habit forming drug, and therefore it is under its cultivation, collection, marketing, sale is under the control of the government of India. However, due to its medicinal nature, we will be studying this drug in detail, and it is a important drug because around 50 derivatives of this opium drugs are there in the Indian pharmacopoeia. So basically the analogues of morphine are used as drugs, because of which this drug becomes very important for study. The biological source of opium, it is basically the air-dried milky latex. It is the latex liquid material oozing out from the opium poppy. Poppy means here the capsule of the opium plant. The latex which comes out, it is dried, and the biological name is Papaver somniferum, belonging to the family Papaveraceae. Okay, it is Papaver somniferum belonging to the family Papaveraceae, and the main part of the drug is the dried milky latex obtained from the unripe capsules of this poppy plant. The geographical source, it is basically found in Turkey, Russia, Iran, Afghanistan, and many other countries having some sort of subtropical atmosphere. However, in India, it is, as I told you already, that it is under the control of Government of India. The cultivation is allowed in two districts. One is Neemuch in MP as well as Ghazipur in Uttar Pradesh. Only these two regions, they have the proper manufacturing unit as well as cultivation region for the opium. Whatever cultivation is done other than this, it is not a legal cultivation. Now we look at the brief history, because it is an important drug. I would like to discuss the brief history of this drug, and the mention of this drug is since 3400 BC in the Mesopotamian culture. So its origin is somewhere in Turkey and Africa, in the Mesopotamia region. The mention is there, along with Egyptian culture also. There are many places where the use has been mentioned. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, he has also used this drug in numerous ailments for treatments. And further, Alexander the Great, he is the person who brought afim to India. Alexander the Great brought this afim along with his troops to India, basically because it has a sedative effect, it has a pain relieving effect. Normally they used to carry it along with them, and as they carried it to India, they started cultivating it in India, and gradually people got to know that what is the basic utility of this drug. The more use of this drug was for its narcotic effect rather than the medicinal effect. And later, in the last 500 years, there has been a lot of research on the phytochemistry of this drug, and various alkaloids have been isolated. So morphine was isolated first, and it was named as morphium. Morphium comes from the name of Morpheus. He is an Egyptian god known as the god of dreams. So because it gives a euphoria, the name Morpheus from the god of dreams was given to the main ingredient, that is morphine, which was earlier known as morphium. Later on, the other alkaloids like codeine, papaverine, etc. were also isolated, and they have been mentioned in the text, and many analogues and derivatives were synthesized, which are today official drugs for numerous ailments. So this is the brief history of opium. If we look at the cultivation and collection, basically the seeds are mainly used for the propagation, and it is sown in the month of October to March, and gradually these plants they mature, and in the month of April and May, that is springtime, we have the flowering of this particular plant. We have the poppy flowers coming up. They are very bright colored flowers, and when these flowers they are pollinated, they turn into capsules, and these capsules are mature to release the latex by the month of June, July. So basically these poppies they look something like this. This is the structure. The average diameter of this fruit is 4 centimeters, and generally initially it is green in color, gradually it changes to yellow. As soon as it changes from green to yellow coloration, the collection process starts. And for this, specific skilled people are required along with a special knife which is known as nashtar. This is generally the instrument used in Afghanistan as well as North India for collection of afim. It is nashtar. Nashtar is basically a particular knife with small spikes on the front, and these spikes they just move the nashtar from up to down side. So the spikes they create slits in this region. It is very important that the slits are not very deep. In case the slits are deep and it reaches the center part of the poppy, then the latex will not come out properly. Besides, it will get coagulated inside only. So there are only slight slits which are put, and gradually the latex starts flowing out. This process is generally done in the early evening, that is 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and after that it is left overnight so that all the latex oozes out and then it coagulates. It coagulates due to the external temperature as well as moisture, and before the sun rises the next morning, this deposited latex it is scraped off with the help of knife, and it is removed, and then it is folded in the poppy leaves. This process goes about 2 to 3 times at an interval of 2 to 3 days until and unless complete opium is collected. Once this complete opium is collected, it is kept in a vessel in a tilted form, and a black liquid it separates out from this opium, which is removed, and whatever mass we get is our afim or the milky latex. Now after this it is properly dried, and then it is packaged, and then it is transported. Now this dried latex it is basically a hard mass and somewhat plastic in nature. Externally it is dark brown, but internally it is slightly pale yellow to brown in color. It doesn't have a very strong odor. The taste is slightly bitter in nature. So this is how the opium looks like. If you want to confirm that whatever you have is opium or not, there are 2 simple chemical tests for that. In one test we take the opium latex. To it we will add FeCl3 solution. It may be 5% FeCl3 solution, and we get a deep red purple coloration. To this if we add HCl, little bit of HCl, the color still persists due to the presence of mecanoic acid, which is one of the precursors for this synthesis of morphine. And then the other test is opium, in which we add concentrated H2SO4 and formaldehyde. It gives violet coloration. So these are the 2 tests which confirm the presence of opium. Now we move to the main chemical constituents, and to till date 35 different alkaloids have been identified in the opium, and they have been segregated into 5 different categories based on the basic ring structure. However, the most important is the morphine type of the ring structure. In morphine type of ring structure, this is a phenanthrene nucleus which is present along with the isoquinoline ring. So the phenanthrene ring as well as this isoquinoline of structure, and these are generally derived from the amino acid that is tyrosine. The main morphine type of alkaloids are morphine, codeine, neoprene, thebaid, porphyrinoxine, etc. Then the second category is phthalate isoquinoline type, where we have the phthalate ring along with the isoquinoline ring, and the main alkaloids here are noscapine, narcin, and 1-narcotine, which also are very important alkaloids, where narcin and noscapine have been found to be less narcotic compared to morphine. The third category is benzyl isoquinoline type, where we have a benzyl ring which is combining with the isoquinoline ring, and the main and one of the important ingredient here is papaverine. Papaverine is a very important ingredient. It is considered to be the second most important ingredient after morphine. We will see what are the main uses. So if you want to have a superficial idea, what are the main alkaloids here? One is the morphine type, one is the papaverine, and then you have narcin. The fourth category, which are not very well studied, is cryptopin, which is the example is protopine, and few miscellaneous types which have not been categorized yet are mycodine. Then we have the aporine and diodine. So these are some of the different types of the alkaloids out of these 35 alkaloids identified in opium. So this is the structure of morphine, as you can see. Now in this structure you can see that there are two OH group. One is a alcoholic hydroxyl group, it is attached to this ring, while another is a phenolic ring having a present here. This OH group plays the main you can say role in the SAR of morphine. Any change in this hydroxy groups lead to different types of activities. For example, I will give you two examples here. One example is codeine. In case this phenolic group, it is replaced by a methoxy group, then it gets converted to codeine, and simultaneously its effect also changes. It becomes less narcotic compared to the morphine. The second change if we make is that instead of this methoxy group, we apply a diacetyl group. This becomes a structure of heroin, and this heroin is highly narcotic in nature compared to morphine. It is not considered to be medicinal at all. It is completely a narcotic drug, and it is a banned drug. So this is the importance of this phenolic structure which is present in morphine, which leads to variations in the different activities. So this is about the structure of morphine. Now we will look at the uses of opium. So the traditional uses of opium are basically, it is narcotic, analgesic, sedative. It relieves pain in the treatment of diarrhea, dysentery and cough. So these are the in general raw opium's uses. Means when we have the raw opium, we can use it in variety of things. From diarrhea, dysentery, pain to the CNS effects like sedative, hypnotic, etc. But if we look at the other uses, if you take only the poppy capsules, means not the latex but the entire capsule, then slightly its narcotic effect is lesser and other uses are more. For example, it is also used in food products. The seeds of poppy are used in food substances, while the traditional uses have also been reported it to be astringent as well as emollient. Now, if we look at the uses of codeine, it is basically a sedative, and generally it is used in cough mixtures as an antitussive agent. It is generally for the, you can say, relief from the condition during any kind of lung infection or respiratory infection. The other drug, that is papaverine. Papaverine, I told you, it is one of the important benzyl isoquinoline derivative, and this acts as a smooth muscle relaxant. So that is the use of papaverine, and that is responsible for the smooth muscle or pain relieving effect in the smooth muscles in the intestine or any other visceral organs. If I talk about morphine, morphine is one of the most important important analgesic drugs which is generally used in the patients having severe surgeries, any kind of cancer treatments, or any kind of pain which is unbearable for them. The only choice of drug is morphine, and it is generally given in such patients. So that's why it is considered to be a very important drug for patients with lot of pain. So in this lecture we discussed about what is basically opium, how it is collected, what is the geographical source, biological source,